External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj is under fire after acknowledging that she helped controversial former IPL chief Lalit Modi procure British travel documents. The Congress is now gunning for Sushma Swaraj's head, demanding her immediate resignation. The opposition is accusing Swaraj of misusing her authority and conflict of interest following reports that her daughter was part of a team of lawyers that represented Modi in court last year. A division bench of the Delhi High Court had reversed the regional passport office's order to revoke Lalit Modi's passport. Modi was represented in this case by a battery of lawyers. One of them was Bansuri Swaraj, daughter of External Affairs Minister. Questions are being raised that why didn't the government file an appeal against the Delhi High Court order. The opposition has alleged that the BJP government is soft on Lalit Modi, who according to the previous government is an absconder. Let's go across to Smita Sharma, who joins us from outside External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj's residence. Smita, it's over to you.
Thank you, Sanket. We are here at 8 Safdarjung Road, of course, since yesterday when the news first broke out across, of course, the news channels. Remember, this is that British Daily expose that has been creating all sorts of political, in fact, storm in New Delhi. But Sushma Swaraj clearly not in a mood to come and engage with media persons. Camera persons still lined up outside her residence, waiting for her to perhaps come and take in a few questions. She is expected to leave, in fact, her residence to go to Jawaharlal Nehru Bhavan, to her office in a short while from now. But at the same time, if I could just try and show you a couple of pictures there. Security forces being deployed here on Safdarjung Lane outside her residence, as there are apprehensions that some of the Congress workers might just take to protest today. Yesterday also we saw some barricading of this lane happening, though there were no protests really. Clearly, as far as the Congress or the opposition is concerned, they continue to gun for Sushma Swaraj's head, asking her resignation on moral grounds and also targeting Narendra Modi. But what is interesting, Sanket, is amidst this entire controversy, the way Arun Jaitley, another senior leader, finance minister, who has maintained that silence. Today also there was a function at his place, but in fact media persons did ask him questions, but Mr. Jaitley never shies in terms of taking a question. Today, that silence there, clearly, even as the matter is being probed by the ED and the other investigative agencies, all those controversies surrounding Lalit Modi, this is an interesting political equation that is also playing out here in the capital. Sanket?
That's right. Now, Smita, we are playing out pictures that you actually got us earlier in the day of massive police deployment outside that Safdarjung, Safdarjung Crescent or Safdarjung Road, Safdarjung Lane, where Sushma Swaraj actually stays. There is a huge deployment of the Delhi police. Just take us through where exactly is the External Affairs Minister at this moment, and is she likely to clarify her position, because she hasn't spoken in more than 24 hours?
Well, it's not actually more than 24 hours. If you remember, Sanket, she first came out and tweeted at 9 o'clock yesterday morning, which was a Sunday morning, but obviously an action-packed morning for us media persons. And post that press conference, which was held by the Congress's Randeep Surjewala, where he came out with 11 questions asked to the government, Sushma Swaraj once again took to Twitter at around 5 in the evening and posted fresh tweets saying that how did I benefit Lalit Modi? And at the end of the day, Lalit Modi posted that clearance, went from London to Portugal and came back to London. So how does it change things? But really, there are more questions than that. Clearly, we have been told by Sushma Swaraj's staff, Sushma Swaraj is still inside her residence, and of course the security forces also continue to be in Safdarjung Lane. Remember, this area is very close, in fact, to 7 Racecourse Road, which is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's official, in fact, residence, and also just 50 meters ahead of the posh Delhi, in fact, Gymkhana Club. So Sushma Swaraj clearly has categorically stated that she is not going to come out and speak to camera.
All right, I believe, Smita, I believe there's some movement happening behind you. Can you just tell us what is happening? We can see that the cameras are now closing in towards the gate. Is there some movement happening?
Well, you know, there have been a few hoax calls over the past few minutes, Sanket, where every time we thought that perhaps Sushma Swaraj was about to come out. So it's the news agencies' cameras that are there on the gates. But if I can just try and ask Anku to pan a little bit to his left, there are other media persons, in fact, also standing there. But more security forces now coming in, you know, of the ones that are standing here already in this lane. We can see, in fact, more police forces also actually walking in. So we are expecting Sushma Swaraj to come out, but I'm not really expecting her to speak. That is not her style, Sanket. Remember, over the last 1 year, she's only she's only done basically 2 major press conferences. One was on the 100 days of the Modi government. One was that annual press conference we saw as the government completed its first year. And other than that, there's only been maybe 1 or 2 stakeouts when she's come out and spoken on the Iraq hostage crisis, where 39 Indian workers were taken hostage in Mosul. But other than that, she's been very categorical in stating that her, in fact, key objective has been to keep that distance away from media and continue to work. She's, of course, there have been several accolades that have come her way. Perhaps some things that have not gone down well with other, in fact, ministers in the cabinet.
Okay, Smita, do stay on with us. In fact, we were playing just a short while back pictures from inside inside the house of Sushma Swaraj. We'll go back to those pictures. There you have it. This is Sushma Swaraj's house. She hasn't made a public appearance in the recent past. She hasn't, in fact, come out and clarified in person. She's used the medium, the microblogging website Twitter, to actually express whatever she had to. Brijesh, coming over to you. Now, there are various dimensions to this particular story. There's a legal dimension that, after getting a clearance from the High Court, why did the government not approach the Supreme Court as far as the reinstatement of the revocation of Lalit Modi's passport is concerned? There is a family angle that perhaps Sushma Swaraj's daughter, Bansuri Swaraj, was representing Lalit Modi in the court, and therefore there was a conflict of interest case. There's a political angle where the Congress is now saying that Sushma Swaraj must resign because this is a case of impropriety. But amid all this, there is a conspiracy angle where BJP's own MP, Kirti Azad, now says or calls someone Asteen ka Saap, or a traitor, who has actually led to this particular controversy. Just tell us about this, insider job or conspiracy angle that now has floated, and how many people are actually backing Kirti Azad, or is this just a figment of his imagination?
Well, Sanket, this is not the first time this Asteen ka Saap thing has happened. If you remember, last time when there were stories about how Prime Minister had reprimanded Home Minister Rajnath Singh's son Pankaj Singh, at that point of time also there were this rumors of an inside hit job carried out at the behest of a very senior cabinet minister. And since yesterday, ever since this story broke out in Indian television, there has been a constant narrative which has been going on within the BJP, which clearly points finger at somebody, at a very senior minister who a section of BJP believe is behind this hit job. What Kirti Azad has done is that he has given a face to this rumor which was going out inside the BJP, and by calling that person Asteen ka Saap, which means a traitor inside the party, Kirti Azad has literally put a snake within the party, and it will be very tough for the BJP to deny it, because it is not coming from say Aam Aadmi Party, which was also yesterday hinting at it, or Congress. It is coming from one of their own MPs. But nobody from the BJP is willing to speak on this, and not even Kirti Azad, who we got touch base in the morning of whether he would want to elaborate on who this Asteen ka Saap is, or whether he would try to take a name or put a name to that tag. But he clearly refused. He said that for you all guys also know who this Asteen ka Saap is. It is for you to tell and not for me to elaborate. So he's not right now not taking calls, not trying to entertain anybody and give an interview in the sense to elaborate on who this Asteen ka Saap is.
No, but will Kirti Azad, Brijesh, actually go beyond the very convenient micro-blogging website platform that is at his disposal of Twitter, where he is insinuating he has said something and then now has retracted, or is now choosing not to respond? Because obviously he seems to suggest an insider job, a conspiracy as far as Sushma Swaraj is concerned. However, publicly, the Bharatiya Janata Party is backing Sushma Swaraj. Just take us through how all senior leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party have now come out and have backed Sushma Swaraj openly.
Well, Sanket, it is very clear that, it has been out in the public domain of how Sushma Swaraj does not share an extremely cordial relation with a senior cabinet minister. And the fact of the matter is that Kirti Azad also happens to not to share too cordial relation with the minister. And this is the reason why he has just used this tag name Asteen Ka Saab without going into specific details, because he knows that if he takes the name of that minister, then disciplinary action will be taken against him. But he has literally set the cat among the pigeons by using that hashtag. And he has found support from people and leaders who are openly opposed to that cabinet minister. But apart from that, ever since this controversy has broken out since yesterday, Sushma Swaraj had spoken to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and clarified her position. And after that, she spoke to Rajnath Singh, the Home Minister, and who is a virtual number 2 in the cabinet. And after her talking to Rajnath Singh, what we have been given to understand is that Rajnath Singh got in touch with the RSS. And after this conversation, within half an hour, we saw Indresh Kumar, coming out in open and openly supporting Sushma Swaraj. And post that, he also had a 20-minute meeting with the Prime Minister, during which the whole the fight back scenario was envisaged. And after that, we saw both party President Amit Shah as well as the Home Minister coming out and openly backing Sushma Swaraj. Because Sanket, remember, I mean, if they go back or go against Sushma Swaraj, then the situation would become extremely unsavory for the party, and which is, I think, perhaps facing the biggest crisis in its 1 year of existence.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, 17 hours ago, and we'll stick with these pictures from outside Sushma Swaraj's residence, where there is a huge police deployment. Now, 17 hours ago, Sushma Swaraj took to Twitter, where she said, and I quote, all right, these pictures also show you that a water cannon has been pressed into service, because do remember, today there is a protest that, political parties have decided to, a protest march that they've decided to take to Sushma Swaraj's residence. So police, in anticipation, is making all these arrangements. This, by the way, is the Safdarjung lane. It leads to 7 Racecourse Road, which is now completely being sealed, as you can see in these pictures. Now, 17 hours ago, Sushma Swaraj actually said what Smita Sharma, India Today's Smita Sharma actually was mentioning. What benefit did I pass on to Lalit Modi? That he could sign consent papers for surgery of his wife suffering from cancer, unquote. That seems to be the last of the messages that Sushma Swaraj has tried to send out as far as this controversy is concerned. Clearly, it goes beyond that, doesn't it, Smita?
Absolutely, Sanket. It is a Monday morning, almost 11:15 at 8 Safdarjung Lane, residence of Union Minister for External Affairs Sushma Swaraj, who normally is an early bird as far as her office hours are concerned. Somebody who is very disciplined, hardworking, works long hours, has been proactive on the ministry, is heavyweight but has been maintaining low key. So Sushma Swaraj, normally who would otherwise be at Jawaharlal Nehru Bhavan in her office by 9:30 or 10 o'clock on a Monday morning, today is still at her residence, and security forces deployed in high number. Delhi police officers deployed in very high numbers outside, expecting media persons perhaps to try and get a reaction when Sushma Swaraj's car comes out, and also expecting some protests to happen. Remember, the Congress, of course, and especially led by Rahul Gandhi in his re-energized avatar, has been taking to the streets on every issue, be it, of course, controversy around Smriti Irani, or be it issue related to Jitendra Singh Tomar and his alleged fake degrees. So they are expecting the protests to play out on the street. That's why extra security measures being put into place. But for Sushma Swaraj, there are more pertinent questions that need answering through the course of the day. Yesterday, remember, the BJP's defense of Sushma Swaraj and her own arguments rested on the fact, on the argument that it was a humanitarian intervention that Sushma Swaraj had gone in for, and nothing more than that, nothing beyond that, that she had also asked the UK High Commissioner to India, Sir James Bevan, to go by the UK authorities' rule book. But having said that, as India Today mentioned yesterday, that Portugal is a member of EU, and if you go by the right to consent ratification, it clearly states that if it's a pre-planned surgery, which it was in this case, because the application was made in July for a 4th of August surgery in Portugal for Lalit Modi's wife, then even the patient can give himself or herself the consent or the right to refusal for that medical, in fact, surgery. Secondly, there is no need for a written consent really for the husband to be there. That consent can be, in fact, sent in through any other means. So clearly the premise, the very basic premise that has been argued as being a humanitarian intervention is under a lot of suspicion right now, because Lalit Modi it wasn't needed for him to have been present there for that written consent. He could have provided it through other means as well. So clearly that argument also of Sushma Swaraj, and something which was backed by Amit Shah, the BJP president, to Rajnath Singh, the Home Minister, to RSS Indresh Kumar as well. All these arguments being questioned and more points being in fact raised, which Sushma Swaraj must come out and clarify. Sanket.
Absolutely, Smita, do stay on with us. And the point that you are mentioning, that all these leaders, whether they're from the RSS or other senior BJP leaders, have now come out in defense. At least that's what's happening publicly in Sushma Swaraj's defense. Let's quickly listen in to a few reactions that we are playing through the course of the day. In fact, even the party chief, Amit Shah, spoke out on this particular issue. Home Minister Rajnath Singh spoke out on this issue. We'll play all those reactions right away. Now, amid intense furor over External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj's facilitation of travel documents for Lalit Modi, the former IPL chief's family has spoken exclusively to India Today, hitting out at the previous UPA regime. Lalit Modi's family has said that the then government was vindictive towards him and consistently refused him permission for travelling. Modi's family argued that his wife had liver cancer and he urgently needed to attend to her. But the then Finance Minister P. Chidambaram acted in a vindictive manner against him. The family members of Lalit Modi have, however, thanked Sushma Swaraj for taking a humanitarian view on this issue. Earlier, Lalit Modi talked to India Today but refused to comment on the controversy, saying that he was attending a marriage in Venice and was not in a position to react. Let's now quickly go back to Smita Sharma, who joins us from 8 Safdarjung Lane. Outside 8 Safdarjung Lane, the residence of External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj. Smita, just tell us what exactly is happening on the ground.
Well, at the moment, all media persons here outside 8 Safdarjung Lane, Sushma Swaraj's residence, actually waiting for her to come out. She will, though, of course, come out from this gate in her car, not really walk out, and because we also don't expect her to give any reaction. That's the kind of that's her way of functioning that we have seen, especially over the last 2 years. Other than, of course, media persons, as you can also see, security forces deployed here in high number. And I was mentioning that Sushma Swaraj normally is an early bird when it comes to her work. She's known to reach either South Block or Jawaharlal Nehru Bhavan early in the morning by at least 9:30 every day. And it's a Monday morning, it's the start of a new week, but it's almost 11 o'clock and still no signs of Sushma Swaraj stepping out of her residence. Clearly, there is a lot that she is deliberating upon. Yesterday, of course, the first call that she made was to the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who also resides at 7 RCR, not very far off from here. She had a conversation with Rajnath Singh as well. Rajnath Singh had that meeting with Narendra Modi. There was a series of meetings. RSS came out, backed her, and the BJP also took to defending Sushma Swaraj. But there are still questions that remain, while even, of course, one needs to think about whether these stories are being planted in a specific media for certain objectives. But there are still questions. She's not absolved of those questions as yet. Sanket.
Absolutely. Many thanks, Smita Sharma, for joining us with all the latest. We'll continue to track this story, as this is the biggest political story at this moment.